It is Wednesday in economics. And so let's look at where we left off yesterday. So we're starting on page 195. You're to the top of it where the section review was yesterday. So now we're going to start the financial market. So the financial market, like we've talked about how you can how you can go to the stock market. You could get in your car, you could drive to New York, and at least you couldn't necessarily drive to the stock market, but you could drive to where the stock exchange was, and you could even watch them ring the bell, and you could stand in the floor of the stock exchange. Like you can do that. The financial market, you can't drive to the financial market. It basically just is different avenues of how to function, how to tunnel your money. So commercial banks are bank institutions, usually for loans, mortgages, that kind of thing, and consumer loans. So a history of banking in the United States. They had a National Banking Act of 1864, and the reason why is because at one point there was all these banks that just kind of started popping up out of everywhere, and they were just giving their own money, and so everybody had different forms of money, and so that makes it really difficult to trade. So they end up making this act so that way there would be one kind of currency. The Federal Reserve is actually over all the smaller banks. So the Federal Reserve is over all the commercial banks, and the commercial bank helps. They accept deposits, and they extend loans, and do a few other things. Keep turning here. Check to see where we're at. Okay, and if you look in your book, there's this nice little page that you're supposed to read. You guys probably can't see that. And it kind of shows the breakdown of the national banks and the state banks, and what's at the very end of those, and where the other ones start. And talking about the Federal Reserve, we've talked about this before, but the Federal Reserve right now is playing a big part in the stimulus package that's going on in America. So a lot of unemployment's happened. Actually, it's the highest it's been, I think, since the Great Depression. So that's not good, and people are not working. A lot of people are at home, and so they're having the stimulus package to send out. It was a $2 trillion stimulus package, and they're sending out checks to families for not being able to work and to keep them afloat during this time, so that way the whole country doesn't go into a Great Depression and just plummet, and the stock market doesn't just plummet. But a big part of that, and it wouldn't have been made possible without the Federal Reserve. So I'm sending you guys a link, because that way you guys can kind of dig into that a little bit. And then tomorrow we'll read from page 198 to 199.